Pule, apparently there are sources in the Malawian president's office saying that the president is absolutely not going to intervene. Tell us more.
Definitely, Sally, good evening. And we have been in contact with some sources in Malawi who are telling us that what the president has said is that he will just leave this in the hands of the state institution. Now, I think it's quite important that we realize that there's a bit of tension going on here amid what happened when the president visited South Africa. They are quite upset about the manner in which they say they were treated in terms of the plane being delayed and how there were security checks that had to be put in place. And therefore, they're saying that, look, we actually are demanding some sort of, feedback from the South African government as to what happened, because what we also have learned is that there's been confirmation that Shepherd Bushiri and Mary were not on that plane. So this has, of course, now they've been reluctant in terms of how they can assist. But furthermore, they are saying that they will, of course, be awaiting Bushiri to report, or rather have himself handed over to the authorities, because as you would have learned during Saturday's virtual conference or his meeting he had said that he's willing to cooperate and hand over himself to the authorities. But we've learned that he hasn't been in touch with the government or the authorities and hasn't handed over himself as well. So it's quite suspicious as to what he is doing there.
Yes, and of course there is a warrant of arrest out now for him and his wife, but no word from Malawi on whether he's been arrested at all.
Definitely, they're saying that he hasn't been in touch with them. He hasn't made an attempt to be there. But furthermore, Sally, what's also important is that we've learned, rather, when we're in court, reliably so by sources saying the hotel in which he claimed that he had his name under in Rustenburg does not belong to him, but a very close friend of him. So those are updates that have been coming there as well. So they're quite concerned about how there hasn't been so much of interaction between him and the authorities. Furthermore, you have now his lawyers and legal team saying, look, we will muscle our legal strategy in terms of protecting our client, because they're saying that there are conditions he set in terms of his security and his safety. But furthermore, asking that those who are investigating him be recused, because they're saying they are targeting him. So those are the kind of conditions they're putting on the table as well, which makes the situation a bit tricky and a bit difficult as well.
Let's talk a little bit more about Sparkling Waters Hotel and Spa. This is not the property that is going to be handed over if they don't appear in court this week, is it?
Well, there hasn't been a clarification around that, Sally. But what we're knowing right now is that as much as the warrant was issued earlier on, they did confirm, saying that this source, of course, was said to not be under his name. Therefore, if they had said in court, in the affidavit, that this was his, which means then he would have lied, which then also adds another charge there. But it is quite important to actually realize this, Sally, that what authorities are quite focusing on now is the extradition process, in terms of having him appear before court on Thursday along the other co-accused there. Also as well saying that indeed his bail money has been cancelled, and therefore authorities are saying they're expecting him. So it's quite of a challenge in terms of the South African authorities to try to have him over for Thursday's court case.
I just want to find out if you've had any chance to verify. It was a rumour going around that the magistrate, Thandi Teledi, who granted bail after 2 weeks of really considering this matter, there's a rumour that she's a member of the Bushiri church. Is there any truth to that at all?
Well, Sally, what we've been told is that we shouldn't give this rumour any oxygen. Furthermore, that it is not true. That's how the sources have actually described the situation, saying this could be an attempt to try and discredit her, but they're saying that there isn't any of that happening. And according to what we've learned and what we've confirmed thus far, is that they're saying this is not true at the moment.
Thank you very much. That's ETV reporter Pule Letswiti.